Former FBI agent and owner of the private investigation firm Veracity IRR, Doug Kouns, joins us now. Doug, police have said they don't know of a possible motive for this shooter. How long does it typically take to establish a motive?
I don't think there's a typical in this kind of thing. It just depends on the person, the situation. In this case, they have a live subject that they can question, and hopefully that will be forthcoming in the next day or so. When you don't have a subject to talk to, you have to look at social media, other internet, other friends, family, to look for that ideology that might have fueled this motivation. So we'll just have to wait and see on this one.
We do know this suspect is talking, according to police. Now, there have been more than 300 mass shootings in the U.S. so far this year, everywhere from schools to 4th of July parades. Are police agencies changing their responses given the number of these shootings?
I think so. It just seems to be so prevalent these days. It's unfortunately so common, and you try to do your best and adapt and leverage technology and all the tools that you have, and it's always evolving. And you try to at least keep up. You want to try to get ahead of the game, but you got to at least try to keep up, and it's difficult. It's a tall order sometimes.
We know of this recently signed law, this bipartisan gun bill, which became law, impacting things like red flag laws, background checks for those under the age of 21, the boyfriend loophole. What is the expected impact as people wait for that to take effect or to have an impact as the shootings continue?
Well, my expected impact is that it's going to take a little while, probably months, even years, for us to see the full result and to compare the statistics of the numbers of mass shootings that we're seeing up to now, between now and say a year, to see if it's effective. Certainly, I think it's a step in the right direction. These young kids, the last two mass shootings that I've talked about on TV have been just, 18, 19, 21, something like that. And there's not a whole lot of history on these folks to do a background check. So they become an adult, they don't have any kind of criminal history, they can go to a gun store and legally buy a gun. So hopefully these new laws put in place will help eliminate some of these gaps that we've had in the past.
As we heard this debate, we heard so many references from so many different directions about mental health services, and Republicans push for mental health comprehensive care. Mental health is a pretty comprehensive term. What does that mean in practical terms to try to address mental health issues ahead of shootings like this?
I think that's like you say, it's so broad. I think it's maybe just sound bites for people at this point. What does that mean? I think we need to clarify what that means. What I've seen watching the news myself over this is that there were a lot of people that saw some red flags in his family, his friends, his teachers, coaches. And, those are the people that need to come forward and say things. And it helps you put together this puzzle into a picture that you can see, okay, here's a problem. This little thing comes in from here. This little thing comes from here. Nobody thinks that their one thing was enough to report, but when you put them all together, it would have been. And you can see where things were missed on this.
As this hits more and more American communities, retired FBI agent Doug Kouns, we thank you.
Thank you.